Hi, friends. Have you been wondering what to watch this month? Like what to stream, what to go to the movie theater for? Well, you're in luck because we are here for special edition, Friday edition of In the Loop. And also going to talk about the latest business talk and how that's going to impact your wallet because you've come to the right place. Welcome to In the Loop with Winnie and Greg. I'm Winnie's son, longtime financial pro, CNBC Council member, Forbes contributor, and host of Level Up, which, as you know, can be found on NASDAQ, Amazon Fire, to name just a few. And of course, we are here live, which means I'm in for a special treat. This is so fun because we are here Friday with my trusty tech guru, all around, let's just say, like the best co-host on the planet, the one and only Greg Nibbler. Hey, Greg, how you doing today?
I am doing great. What an introduction. Thank you very much, Winnie. So hi everybody for joining. Thanks for joining us. I am Greg Nibbler. I've been a tech reporter and journalist for a number of years, a long time, and covering all kinds of different things in that world and entertainment some. Today, we're getting a cross of both of those coming in with a whole lot of news coming out from Disney Plus for streaming services and a lot of things to watch. I'm just really excited to talk about it. It's Friday. We're all getting ready for the weekend. We want to know what to watch. So we're going to be discussing that. And I want to hear what you are going to be watching or what you're most excited about. So we're broadcasting on a bunch of different platforms. So drop in your comments. Let us know as we go throughout the show. We can take a look at those. This is live. We're interacting with you live. So you can interact and ask questions with us and we'll do the same. So it's really exciting. I can't wait to get into it. But I know, as always, on The Loop, Winnie lets us know what is going on in the world of business and finance and how that's going to affect us and making it nice and easy to understand for people like me who don't get it very well. So, Winnie, how do we want to start this off here? What's going on?
Well, we got to get into this, Greg. I just feel like because we spent so much quality time together all these years, I feel like you actually are kind of like a hidden financial guru, but that's a whole nother topic. But before we get in, let's give a big happy birthday to Carlos, who's joining us on YouTube Live. He is celebrating his big 28th birthday. Carlos,
happy birthday, Carlos.
Happy birthday, buddy. Let us know how you're going to be celebrating this weekend. We want to know. And actually, let us know if you're going to be watching one of the things we're going to talk about in just a moment. But let's talk about the market. I feel like, Carlos, the market was actually celebrating with you today because we have a triple update on the market. A great way to end the week. The Dow closed up 179 points, and the NASDAQ up 156 points. I might have contributed that a little bit today. The S&P up 33 points as well today. Now, here's some news, though. I really want to share this with you because we're going to have a really fun show, but let's talk about some important stuff that really, kind of give you an idea of what's happening with the financial markets. CNBC today reported that the consumer confidence numbers came out today, and it hit a 10-year low. That means people are feeling sort of nervous about shopping. This comes as the rise in inflation continues to make us really nervous, right? We're not sure how much we should be spending, if we should be spending at all, like how much we should be saving and kind of hoarding away just in case of a rainy day. In fact, the recent inflation rise, as you know, has been the highest that we've seen for over 30 years. Now, of course, Carlos wouldn't know that because Carlos is celebrating his 28th birthday today. So he wouldn't have known that inflation was a lot higher 30 years ago. But many of you may know as well, but that gives you a perspective of how sort of big this is. Now, you also want to take a look at this report that I want to share with you that was on Market Watch this week. And this is how much the stuff you might be buying at the grocery stores have jumped. This was, I thought, so eye-opening. So here's what I read. Did you know that bacon and eggs, my friends, are up over 27 to 29%? And it's not listed here, but I also know for a fact the cost of lettuce has gone up a ton because I buy a lot of lettuce. But check out how expensive. Like, we're talking inflation is supposed to be right now, which is already really high, over 6%. And yet eggs are up almost 30% since 1 year ago. So if you're still eating eggs, like we're still eating a lot of eggs with my kids and all, that's a lot for your budget, right? Are you still eating eggs?
Yeah, I do. That adds up. I mean, I don't eat as much as probably, what you're going through with kids and everything, but still, I mean, 30%, that's huge. That's a big markup as far as an indication, even if it's just a little bit at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of nerve wracking.
It's a little nerve wracking. And the only thing that actually is on this list that sort of fits with the description of the sort of the CPI of like inflation rates at 6% is coffee. So unless your diet consists of just coffee, you're really here. You're really feeling the pinch. So a lot of things have gone up significantly. In fact, a reporter friend of mine from Yahoo Finance, he did a whole article about the increase in steak that he was about to buy at the grocery store. So I think the steak is at close to over 25% increase as well. So going into Thanksgiving, going into the holidays, I'm just like I wonder like what's gonna happen with these budgets as we go in the holidays. But couple that with the recent news, and this is what the news is coining the Great Resignation. Now you may have heard about this. Record numbers of Americans are quitting their jobs. This is all recent. It's September, August information coming from the Labor Department talking about like 4.4 million people have quit. That's crazy. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm shocked by how big this number is. Of course, we expected some people to quit during this time. COVID's been really tough on a lot of us, and some of people don't want to go back to their original jobs. But this is a huge number. So they're quitting, and so on the flip side, there's also means there's a lot of companies that are hiring. So over 3 million jobs being posted. But here's my question to this. If you're quitting, how quickly are you getting back to work? And if you're not getting back right away, like how are you getting by financially? Because there's also a report that shows that those who voluntarily quit their job or leave their jobs are in most cases ineligible for unemployment benefits. Now, there's going to be some exceptions to the rule, right? But generally speaking, you can't get unemployment. So unless you've got a job right away, or let's say you're going to take an early retirement, or you're just going to retire, it's kind of a little nerve wracking. I'm like nervous for these people. I think I'm hoping they have jobs that they get to go to right away and that they love, but something to watch for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's a really interesting stat.
It's interesting, Zach. But I mean, but the one thing I will say is what I'm excited about today, Greg, is that today's Friday. And I know you're going to bring us some big news because this is something that hit my radar a couple of times today, but I didn't get a chance to read it. And I said, that's okay because Greg's going to tell me all about it. And so some news coming out of Disney, right?
Right. Yeah. So this was a huge day for Disney Plus, and it's still ongoing. There's still announcements coming out and things rolling out. But today is what Disney coined Disney Plus Day because it's the 2-year anniversary of the streaming service going online. And so they wanted to celebrate. They do this every once in a while where they have like big announcements about upcoming things. But the way Disney does it is they just overload it with so many things all at once. And so it takes a while to actually break it all down and understand. I mean, they do own a lot of properties. So Disney owns pretty much everything. If it's not owned by Netflix, it's owned by Disney, it feels like. But they had some huge announcements today. So yeah, 2 years. There are now, according to the statistics, 118 million subscribers to Disney Plus. So that's a good number, but lots of room to grow. And that's what they really want to do. And that's why they keep adding more and more and more and more stuff. So kind of walking through this, just some of what it is. And I know we'll each have some recommendations too for people to watch, but just the general idea today, they started off by having 13 new things that showed up onto the service that you can watch immediately, including bringing Shang-Chi on board. So
I'm so excited about that. I'm so excited. I wanted to watch that again for sure. Yes. Maybe a couple times.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it was so good. I got to see it in the theater and it was a great movie. And now it's already here. It feels like it. I didn't look at what the original release date was, but I think it was September. So it's within like,
I watched it in September too. But I feel like this is a movie you want to rewatch for those little details, right? Because when you watch it live, you're kind of like, whoa, but then it happens so quickly.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with a lot of these Marvel movies. There's so much going on, and they have all the Easter eggs too. If you really want to get nerdy about it and be like, "Ooh, that references Iron Man 2," or something like that. That's me. That's what I'll be doing.
That's you.
It's definitely
that's me. Okay. I think even those of us like myself who aren't huge movie buffs, I'm gonna tell you this is one movie that you're gonna want to channel your inner Greg in because there's like all these little things like I drove to, Greg, I just went on that trip to like the Anza Barago, which is this state park here, and there's an area with all the trees, and I was like, oh, that was like Shang-Chi. You remember how when we were if you haven't seen it, you'll know what we're talking about very soon, I
Yes.
think.
I know exactly what you're referencing. Yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, you definitely want to watch it. It's a good opportunity. Now, you mentioned, though, looking for details, and that's actually part of another announcement they made, is that Shang-Chi and a bunch of other movies are going to be available in the IMAX version for your television. So
Ooh.
you're going to have the option to watch it. It's free. It's just added on, and pretty much anybody's going to be able to watch it in that. Like, your television will be able to handle that. There's a few things you won't get if your TV is not updated, but to explain that, IMAX movies, obviously they're giant. They're put across that huge dome. And so they're formatted differently. And so you're actually seeing more in an IMAX rendered movie. So you actually get more. So it's going to be a taller version of the movie, as far as you're going to have more things that maybe you missed. Maybe there's some extra, and I don't know what it is because I haven't seen the IMAX version. Maybe there's some other details that are going to be in there, but you're actually going to get more movie if you watch it in the IMAX version. And that's going to be available right now for free.
Okay, so Greg, my question to you is this, though. We talked about this. I'm not the biggest fan of the TV I have at home. Will my TV really be able to handle this? I mean, I don't have the whole OLED, QLED, all these cool LED things. That's a whole nother topic. We're gonna have to ask you about that like later on in my Slack. But will the standard TV be able to see the difference?
You will. Well, you'll see it as far as the aspect ratio. So you'll definitely notice, because it's going to look different. And it'll actually switch back and forth a few moments between like 16:9, they said, just because of the way the footage is. What you won't get, though, if you don't have HDR and all the Dolby additions for audio and visual, if you have all of that stuff, all the bells and whistles, like a brand new television that's generally going to be a little bit upper end, then you'll get all the color correction things and different sounds and different things that go into that. So yeah, you will need the higher end television to get the most out of it.
Oh,
if you just want to see it, you will see the difference as far as the aspect ratio is going to be on there different.
I just feel like, Greg, I just feel like you just are going to make sure I spend more money this year.
It's going to make me want to get one.
I mean, do they have a 2-for-1 deal? Because I feel like this is something, we're going to have to do some research on it. We're going to have to get back to everybody on this. See, Vicky is here. She's like, I'm feeling Vicky's pain here. She can't wait for Hocus Pocus 2, by the way. Very cool. And Vicky, so great to see you join us from the UK. I see her on Facebook Live. I see so many of you. See Joshua, thank you so much for being on YouTube Live as well. Really. So yeah, this is great. I mean, there's been a lot of really cool TV deals anyways. I mean, this is, we're going to have to get together a Greg recommendation list as we go into the end of the year. But
definitely. Yeah, it's coming up to be a good time with Black Friday coming up and all the deals for the holidays. You're entering into a good time to buy a television. So we'll definitely break that down on one of our next couple episodes of The Loop and just kind of give some recommendations on what you can get, and take advantage of having an IMAX version movie. Granted, unless you have your own personal dome at home, it's not going to be quite the same. But
you don't have a dome?
Yeah. I mean, I'm working on it.
It's Portland, right? You got domes.
Yeah, we got domes somewhere.
We got domes. I mean, it's funny, Greg. To me, it's funny because I was just seeing this that Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus yet, they're letting you sign up for $1.99 for the first month, right? So you're signing up for $1.99. It comes with then with that you got to buy a $2,000 TV to watch your dome show.
Build your own dome. There's got to be some kind of market for that.
Build your own DIY dome. Yeah, anybody knows about that? Definitely share that in comments. Where's Sadiq when we need him?
Yeah, I know, right? I feel like he would know. So you've got all of that coming out from it. So the IMAX version of these movies, and like I said, 13 different things, and there's so much here. I've got my list in front of me. There's no way I can memorize all the things that they had coming out today, but just specific movies. Yeah, you mentioned. Well, we'll talk about Hocus Pocus 2, like some of the stuff they're advertising ahead, but things you can watch right now. Jungle Cruise, now out. That's the one with The Rock that just came out pretty recently as well. Now that's on the service. They've got a new Home Alone movie. I've got to say I'm pretty skeptical about that one. Home Sweet Home Alone. So
my kids love that series.
We'll see. I love the original Home Alone and Home Alone 2. I don't know about this one, but nonetheless, this is for the kids, so maybe it will be good.
They'll probably like it. It's probably not. You're probably not their target audience on this Home Alone Sweet Home.
How could you say that? That I'm not Disney's target market?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, you just surprised me with the whole Pee Wee Herman thing. So
that's true. That's true. I'm a mystery. So
you're a mystery.
So you got that. Enchanted's coming on there. There's a new season. Then that's one thing to remember too. Disney Plus has a whole bunch of different, essentially, we'll call them channels within the platform. Okay. You've got regular Disney stuff. You've got Marvel, Star Wars, National Geographic being one of them as well, and Pixar. The National Geographic side of things, I really like that. There's a new season of the World According to Jeff Goldblum, which is Jeff Goldblum being very
Jurassic Park.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. That Jeff Goldblum, and he's very, very Jeff Goldblum-y, and he just kind of goes around and investigates different things, and it's pretty interesting. I find it interesting, but something else that's going to be out there.
I can't wait to see that too. That's going to be super cool. I would love to, like you said, the Jeff Bloomy. We gotta see his take on things, right? And
that's exactly it.
Interesting. I feel like he's the Alton Brown of like natural jungle-y stuffy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, right, Vicky? Yeah, she knows.
Yeah, so you've got that's all out there right now that you can watch. So these are all things, and then there's a bunch of other ones too, going on with like Marvel things and Simpsons and all kinds of stuff. That's just today that you can go there right now and watch all of that. But a lot of what they tease though is what's coming up and what's going to be coming up, and there is so much. I mean, so much.
We're never going to leave in front of the TV again, Greg. I feel like we got to do our show still on Thursdays, but it looks like
I know.
I feel like the weekends. I mean, I sense that tonight, Greg, you're just going to be you're going to be binging Disney Plus first.
I'm going to be checking out a bunch of what's going on there right now. And I'm waiting. I can't wait for a lot of the other things. Because if you're a Marvel fan, they've got a Marvel series for everything forever, it feels like. I mean,
Hawkeye, right? Hawkeye is coming out right around Thanksgiving.
Yes, Hawkeye being the first one. Yeah, Hawkeye is going to be coming out, so it's going to kind of detail Hawkeye as he passes the torch a little bit to another character. And that series, I think 2 episodes come out. It's November 24th. So right around Thanksgiving there. If that is Thanksgiving, I always mix up what day exactly it is. That's the day before Thanksgiving. So that'll be coming out here really soon with Hawkeye. But they announced already a spinoff from Hawkeye. So there's a character on there called Echo who hasn't even been introduced yet that already has a spinoff series. So that's
does it have its own Amazon Echo in the movie? I'm kidding.
Yeah, that would be a good tie-in. That's something that they definitely need to work on. So you've got so you have that, and then a whole bunch of other series and new characters are going to be introducing for, like I said, forever, for like the next couple of years at least. It looks like there's going to be a new one that'll show up on Disney Plus about every couple of months. You'll have a new standalone Marvel series to watch that ties into the entire big universe. I mean, they've really, if you're like me, they've got you. Like, they've got me now. They've got me for however long this goes on, which seems like it's forever. But a lot of exciting things though with it. It's pretty cool. And if you're into that, it's definitely something to nerd out about it, I think. So
yeah, I agree, Greg. And what I love about this mood, I feel like, I know a good friend of mine on the show. Actually, I see her, Robin Stevens. We just had this conversation. There's certain companies that just continue to do everything really, really well, right? If Apple does something, they do it really well. I feel like with Disney, they did the same thing. They did some things really well. But not only that, they did great timing, right? We're just celebrating the 2-year anniversary of Disney Plus. Talk about like perfection, right? Like right before the pandemic. They laid out Disney Plus. They made it really affordable for a lot of us to pre-purchase, 3 years in advance. And now they're doing this great little promo, $1.99 right before the holidays. I mean, that's pretty brilliant too. I was like how easy would it be just, hand out $2 1 month subscriptions to this thing, let everybody sort of fall in love with like some of the old Disney movies. And you were talking about Home Alone, I was talking about Marvel, and then National Geographic. Really well played, Disney. Really well played.
It is. It's really smart. And it's funny, watching these streaming battles or streaming wars or whatever that have been going on for the last few years. It was just Netflix basically for a while. Then, well, don't forget too, Disney also owns Hulu. So they kind of have both of those are underneath their ultimate umbrella. So it's I think a lot of fun to watch and see what each one is doing to try to battle. And it does feel like it's whittled down a little bit. I mean, you have HBO Max that's also doing pretty well, has some good content, but Disney just unloading with this to where if you want to be in the Marvel universe, want to be Star Wars or Pixar or all those classic Disney things, this is the place to go to
This
get
is the
it.
place
And
to be. Mhm.
yeah, and they'll keep feeding you new stuff all the time. That's what they're letting you know about. So you've got Marvel. You also have Star Wars. They gave a little bit of behind the scenes on the upcoming Obi-Wan Kenobi series that's going to be going. That's going to be happening with Ewan McGregor. So you really have a little bit of something for everybody that came out with this thing, and it's pretty fun to see what they've done with it.
It is pretty fun. I'm excited. This will be
Yeah.
great. It gives us a lot to watch, Greg. For sure. I mean, I'm almost curious about what you're going to start with because I feel like there was so much for me. I think I'll definitely jump on Shang-Chi again. That was one
Yeah.
we saw in the movie theater. The kids loved it there, but there were certain details I think we definitely missed. So I'm excited to watch that.
Oh yeah.
Of course, I'm a big fan of this movie for so many reasons. I love seeing the diversity. I love how it was done, and it just like my kids loved seeing someone that looked like themselves on the big screen. I think that was really exciting to hear because I sometimes
Yeah.
don't hear that because they've been noticing that more than ever, right? Sometimes they'll say this show makes us look like we're really mean or all we do is study, but this movie they really got a kick out of.
Oh, that's great. And that's
Mhm.
good to hear because it does seem like Disney's heard that, for the Marvel universe, they need to expand and be more inclusive and have all of these other characters. And they've, a lot of them are in the comic books, just like bring them to life.
Right.
And that's great that they felt that way. I mean, and it's a fantastic movie. I'll definitely be watching it this weekend.
Yay.
Yeah, though 100% I'll be watching that again, probably multiple times over the next next month or so. So there's that. Now, something else though, I believe it was Vicky brought up Hocus Pocus 2.
Mhm.
And that's another thing Disney is doing is bringing back some of the older franchises. So you're going to have Bette Midler back with a sequel to Hocus Pocus,
Mhm.
and that's going to be on there. You've got a sequel to Enchanted, called Disenchanted, that's going to be on there, and also one for me, which is Willow, is coming back for a series. Willow is a movie, kind of a fantasy movie that was out in the, I think, mid 80s, early 80s, something like that. And if you were a fan of it, you know it. If not, it's the time to rewatch it again. But they've got an entire new series with Warwick Davis, who's just hilarious, and that they announced as well. So that's
Cool.
like I said, something for everybody.
Something for everyone for sure. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah, I will have to say I don't remember watching Willow, so just because you said this, I'm definitely going to watch it because I'm going to tell you, Greg, so many of your recommendations to these months, they've been, I mean, those are my go-to shows, and you have not left me wrong. They've been great. They've been great choices. I'm very excited to watch these.
That's awesome. That's a lot of pressure now. Now I'm nervous.
Yeah, no
about
pressure.
whatever.
It better be perfect, though.
Dang it. So that's all the stuff coming from Disney Plus. So, and again, I would expect some more to be coming out as well. And now that they've kind of thrown this out, you'll have to think that HBO and Netflix, they're gathering, trying to figure out what they're going to do, and all the other services. And there were a few announcements for Hulu as well, kind of wrapped into all this. But there's going to be more, and it's just an exciting time for streaming content because there's so much out there to watch. And that's kind of what we wanted to talk about also today. There's so much. There's a lot out there. And, I always love to hear from people what they're watching, what they would recommend. And if you have some you're watching live right now, or even afterward, you're watching this post, please let us know what you would recommend and what you're excited about for both that's coming up, maybe from these Disney announcements, or that you're watching right now. And I know, Winnie, you've got a few recommendations for people too here for over this weekend and coming up through November of what to watch. And I would love to hear what you recommend.
Okay, Greg. Well, I'm just going to say these are my choices. Of course, bear in mind, I'm just watching TV for pure entertainment. So I wouldn't consider myself a guru in this space, but one that really popped up that I'm excited about. And this is coming out on November 19th. So just like in a week from now. And that's going to be King Richard. Now, King Richard is pretty cool. Now, this is based on the incredible, like really awesome true story of Venus and Serena Williams. And how they inspire the world. This is really cool because, how they got into the world of tennis, sort of the family, the backstory. That's going to be on HBO Max. for 31 days from its release date, and it's going to cost nothing if you have HBO Max. So that's definitely one that I plan to watch. I'm
That's
guessing
cool.
this is up your alley too.
Oh, most definitely up my alley. I like any kind of like biographical drama or something telling the story of how somebody became, and especially something like this with the Williams sisters, and just how iconic they are. Trying to seeing a little bit more of that background, and and you got Will Smith in there too. So this is 100% up my alley. I was actually unaware of this until you just told me about it. So I can't wait to watch this.
Yeah, I can't wait. And I can't wait to see Will Smith in this role. It'll be really
Yeah.
interesting how he plays their dad. I think he plays dad or coach. So I apologize. I'm not sure which one, but it looks really, really cool. And I've always been curious. I mean, talk about breaking some glass ceilings, right?
Oh yeah.
And it really just really dominating this industry that probably I suspect they didn't see a lot of people that look like them or, were from their
Right.
background. Similar, like I feel like this is the kind of story that's perfect for the environment that we're currently in.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I mean, just to find out more about that. I mean, arguably, the greatest tennis player of all time. So that's really cool. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I can't wait to see this one. Okay, so that would be obviously that's my one of my first picks. But then another one, of course, I picked for our friends at Modern Mom because we are, as you know, always streaming to Modern Mom as well. So here's one that you can watch with your kids. This is one that definitely my kids like to read when they were kids. But it's Clifford the Big Red Dog. Now this is going to be out November 10th. Okay. And I think this is just a good feel good movie. I imagine most kids will remember Clifford and they're going to enjoy this movie. But it's kind of cool because it actually turns Clifford, taking him away from animation into like a real life movie. So this should be really, really fun. And so this is coming out very soon. Let's see. Do I know where it's coming out? I don't know where it's coming out. I don't know where it's coming out, but it's coming out soon. Oh, it's via Paramount. I apologize. On Paramount.
Let's see. Amazon Prime looks like.
Oh, Amazon Prime. Thank you.
Yep. Yeah. I also read Clifford when I was a kid.
Did you?
Yeah. November 10th. I just saw. So it's already out.
Yeah. So, it already came out November 10th. So
I'm like typing as I'm doing this.
Thank you, Greg. You know what? It's been a busy day, so I didn't get to
totally
put that
understand.
in. But yeah, this should be really fun. I mean, I think when I was a kid, I used to think it'd be so cool to ride Clifford right on his back, like through the city to school. I always thought that was the coolest thing, but this will be fun.
Now. Yeah.
You would do that, right?
Oh
yeah. My goodness. Can you imagine a red dog that size? Yeah. I mean, first you need a big TV and you would need really big like water bowl for that dog, but so cute. So cute.
Well, that's great. So that one's out and looks like the cast is really good too for it. So
yeah, so that should be fun. And that's all I've got for today.
Okay. Those are great recommendations. I mean, and clearly, we've been covering a lot of them. And again, if you're watching live, please drop yours in. I've got a couple more. One of them, I know we're, Clifford the Big Red Dog, definitely kid oriented. The one I'm going to talk about for a second right now is not. This is not for kids, but I feel like there are a lot of fans out there for this. And we've been mentioning shows coming back that are being brought back or sequels. And this has to do with Dexter. So that's what I wanted to just give a spoiler-free review because I'm part of Showtime was kind enough to give me like a press release, kind of a viewing of this. So I've been able to see a little bit of it. And I don't know if you ever watched Dexter, Winnie.
I haven't. So that's why I'm excited to hear what you have to say about this. And by the way, Sadiq has just joined us on LinkedIn Live. And by the way, Sadiq, we had mentioned you in the show earlier. So we're really glad that you're here with us right now.
Yes, you were already name dropped, Sadiq. So Dexter, it ended, I believe 2013 was when it ended. And this series takes place, and there's a lot of controversy over the ending. A lot of people did not like the ending of Dexter during its first run. But this takes place 10 years later. Mm-hmm. He's on the run. You're not really on the run, but he's not himself. He's going under an alias. And again, without giving spoilers that aren't going to be too much in this trailer, it's in upstate New York. And for people who are fans of the character and just how he was brought to life in the original series, you're getting a lot of that here. I was a little bit hesitant on how they were going to do this. a little bit speculative of what they could actually do to bring this back after that long of time. And they really, I think, have done a good job of staying true to the original series while also kind of bringing it into a new era. It is called Dexter New Blood. So it does take that route as far as, this isn't the same story that you had before, although there are a lot of the same characteristics and mannerisms that you like from it, but it shows kind of growth. It shows it going in a different direction. It's also in snow and ice versus Miami, which is where it was always took place before. So there's that, just stark visual difference from where it was
that's
before.
Cool.
Right. And a whole lot of new characters that are being introduced in it. And I will say so far, it's entertaining. Is it the greatest thing I've ever seen? Is the greatest Dexter season? It might, I don't know. We'll have to see where it goes, but it's definitely very well thought out on how they're bringing this back in my opinion anyway. And I am really enjoying it so far. So if you are a Dexter fan and you've been unsure if you want to try to jump into this new one, it's on Showtime right now, and I would recommend it.
Oh, good. So then you can check that out. You know what? What I don't know. You find this fascinating, but Greg, I've been really enjoying seeing shows, especially shows like that are sort of newer productions, and you part of you is thinking when you're watching this, did they film this during COVID? Because some of the nuances during that process. So when you see a production that's that elaborate, right, in the snow and everything else, I can't help but think of that when I'm watching that.
Yeah, I mean, and it probably was I'm sure filmed at least in part during COVID times. Another thing, you bringing that up, just a little bit of a tangent. I find it interesting in a lot of shows now, especially long seasons of shows, where they start bringing in the pandemic into it, especially if it's a show that takes place in like real time. You know, it's like all of a sudden you have to start doing that, and the morning show being one of those on Apple TV Plus.
Grey's Anatomy too. They've been doing a lot of that.
Oh, they did. Yeah. Yeah, and just their different viewpoints and how they incorporate it into the show. And I mean, because eventually you can ignore it, but if you're doing a show that takes place during a specific time,
you can't help it. You have to bring it in.
You can't help it. You have to incorporate it in. So it's, I think that's just kind of, I think we're going to be seeing that over the next few years as shows go through that, just how they cover it. But I think that's pretty interesting.
It is interesting. I'm sorry jumping on this.
Yeah, no, go.
But if you've seen like Grey's Anatomy, some of these medical or these shows where they have a lot of stuff that they wear, I thought it was so interesting because I recently saw Grey's Anatomy talk about COVID, and they were all wearing, that big PPE with the mask and everything. And I was thinking to myself, oh, how brilliant that they were able to film during this time, but because they were protected, which was part of the show anyway, they could get the job done. And like literally it just was scene after scene of them in full PPE. And I thought, oh, very clever.
Yeah, right. I mean, at least they were the right kind of show for that at that time too, to bring that in. Absolutely. And there's a lot of them out there that are like that too, that are starting to have it in. Morning show being one of them. I was mentioning, I won't spoil anything, but in the second season,
we're gonna have to see that.
The morning show is pretty fun. It's pretty good if you want like a very fictionalized behind the scenes version of what like a morning show would look like a big national morning show. So you've got. Anyway, going back from the tangent, I did have one other thing to recommend, and that's something that you can watch right now, and that is if you have Netflix, and it's a movie called Red Notice. So this is the new one from Ryan Reynolds, The Rock, Gal Gadot. So it's got a really huge.
I'm so excited about this one too.
Yeah, I mean the cast alone is probably worth watching it, even
I love
regardless
these guys.
of the movie, just because it's those three together. But I did find some pretty interesting things about this movie because it's a comedy, but it's kind of about international art thieves. And something I didn't realize, so the writer is a guy by the name of Rawson Marshall Thurber, and it's the same person who wrote We're the Millers, Dodgeball, Central Intelligence. So has written a lot of comedies. So if you're a fan of Dodgeball and We're the Millers, I think those are two very funny movies. That's the same writer. So that's kind of gives you a little bit of an idea that this is somebody with some actual writing chops that wrote this movie.
But I feel like Ryan Reynolds is just so funny. So I feel like that what a great, and The Rock is so fun. I mean, I think this is a stellar cast. This is definitely, I think this is going to be funny and feel good all at one time. I'm curious to see what this is, the rating on this, because I do feel like a lot of us will want to play this like when we're cooking for Thanksgiving. I just feel like
PG-13.
perfect. That's perfect. So I think a
There we
lot of
go.
us, while we're cooking, cooking the turkey, this might be the type of show that you just have running because it feels like a fun one.
Yeah, and it also had a $200 million budget, which is crazy.
That doesn't hurt.
So I think the special effects and all the imagery is going to be pretty good on this. I mean, I don't know how much of that just went to the cast alone. But
That's true. Pretty expensive cast.
Yeah, that's an expensive cast that you have right there. But still, it looks like one of those movies that even if it's not the greatest of all time, it's still going to be entertaining, right? Like it doesn't have to be an Oscar winner or anything like that. It just looks like it'll be an entertaining movie. And those three alone could probably carry it.
I know. You got Wonder Woman in the movie.
Right.
She's amazing. So, I mean, yeah. Well,
Wonder Woman, The Rock, and Ryan Reynolds, that's usually going to be good enough no matter what.
That's going to be incredible. That money looks like it was well spent. I think we're going to really enjoy that movie. But, you're right. It probably won't win some Oscar or something, but I bet you we're going to really enjoy that.
Yeah, and I bet there could be a sequel to this too. This looks like one where they're building it up to maybe do a sequel. I haven't seen it yet. It's out now. You can watch it. But yeah, pretty fun. So just something else to recommend for people to check out and to see. There's just a lot. There's just so much, and that's the thing. Like you can never watch it all. I mean, if you really wanted to dedicate 24 hours of your life to just watching it, or have two screens up, I suppose maybe. But that's why recommendations are always so good to me anyway, because I'll look at the things that I like, but then we've got the recommendations that you just had and whatever anybody else writes in. It's just it's always fun to see what perspectives people have and what they're excited about, because it seems like there's something for everybody now.
There is. I feel like there's no shortage of good entertainment right now. So
yeah,
and I just wish I had more time to watch some of these things, but they look really good. I mean, I miss the days where it sounds funny, but I actually miss taking those long flights now and then, because that was my chance to catch up on movies. Now it's just like work. But we're gonna find time. The holidays are coming, so that's gonna be good.
Right. And as we talked about before, travel's coming back. So, maybe you'll get those times coming up soon to watch some of those things while you're traveling.
See, I knew Sadiq would know. See, Sadiq is saying that Samsung actually sponsored the Red Nose. Sadiq, we were just talking about you're going to have to put this on replay because we mentioned you earlier.
I did not realize that, and that is very interesting. So expect to see a lot of Galaxy phones, I'm guessing, in that movie, randomly popping up, Samsung televisions in the background. That's really interesting. So they sponsored it. Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of mention of Red. I feel like there's a lot of mention of Red this month. Like Taylor Swift just launched her new album. It's called The Red, I think, right? But there's there's a lot of, I don't know, it's like the 2021 year end type of thing. But I just feel like it's been mentioned a lot in the news lately.
Like red's the theme. I mean, you're wearing a red jacket, it looks like right now. I mean, it's all.
Oh yeah, that was kind of last minute, but yeah, I planned it that way for this movie discussion.
Of course. So there we go. Just some recommendations for everybody to check out and watch over these next coming few weeks. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been tuning into the loop, and just really appreciate everybody who's joining, whether you're watching live, whether you're watching afterward, you're following us on all the social media channels. And it's really, really cool. And always feel free to reach out anytime you want on any of those. And I will absolutely get back to you. And I appreciate any recommendations or anything you want to send, whether it's for something to watch or something tech related or anything else. Please send them in, because it's always so great to hear from people. I really, really enjoy that.
Absolutely. We are so grateful for all the time that you spend with all of us. And of course, I'm so grateful to do this program with Greg as well. It's so much fun for us, right, Greg? I don't know about you. So one of the highlights, I mean, we're doing twice this week, and it honestly doesn't feel like work when we come together. This is super, super fun. And I learn as much as I bring into the show. So it is such a treat to be with all of you. And I know we got something special scheduled for next Thursday as well. So the joy continues.
Indeed. Yeah. So hit subscribe to everything, and, share the show, let other people know about it. Yeah. We'll be back next Thursday with some more things for you. So make sure you follow along for that. And don't forget to, set a reminder for next Thursday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific. And if that changes, we'll let you know, but that's when we're going to be going live. So we're looking forward to seeing you then. And I think that's about it.
And that's a wrap. So be well, our friends. See you next week.
Have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye-bye.